Developed prior to the Great War, the brain-computer interface chip was created and tested by Robert House in Los Angeles on a man named Bill who was an out-of-job construction worker. Once the chip is attached to the back of a victim's head, the chip overrides their central nervous system and compels them to carry out any order given by their master using voice commands on a special remote. Under the influence of the chip, the victim loses all free will, going as far as to kill loved ones. For the test, it would involve compelling Bill to attack his friends, and House would further push his limits of the control, which would then lead to the explosion of Bill's head. After the Great War, Vault 24 and an unnamed Vault Tech complex in the Mojave Wasteland would continue development on aspects of the chips. Vault 24 would succeed in further developing the chip's functionality. American dwellers fitted with this device were successfully converted to communism, replacing Vault Tech and American symbolism with flags of China, communist propaganda, and replacing the Vault jumpsuits in favor of a simple two-piece red garments with a prominent red star on the left side. The Vault Tech complex, however, was focused on miniaturizing the chip. In 2297, Hank McLean, an executive assistant of Vault Tech and a former overseer of Vault 33, would acquire both the data of Vault 24 and the miniaturization methods of the complex. Developed prior to the Great War, the brain-computer
Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, all praise, all honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and what you just saw there on the screen was a short about the show Fallout. And started out as a game, got made into a show, and it's actually a pretty good show. I enjoy watching it, but throughout the show, they keep showing this brain-computer interface chip. And it starts out pretty large, but in the last episode of the second season, they showed it shrink down. Miniaturization, as he was saying towards the end of the short, but they showed it get really small, like this, what you see there in that napkin. And so it's a lot closer to that grain of rice RFID micro C hip. But yeah, you could see this within this show. And it's a brain computer interface, and it changes the habits and behaviors of an individual. That short, he just said, takes away their free will and it gets replaced by the controllers, but we know there's no such thing as free will. But there is control, and you see that once the individual has this brain computer interface, that they lose complete control. And the show that tries to makes them more docile and good little workers, and makes them lose their urges to be violent and whatever else that are seen as negative characteristics. But it's this is prophetic, and they keep showing it to you in their different shows and movies, and seeing it. You're actually seeing it in real life as well with Elon Musk's Neuralink and all that stuff. We're getting a lot closer to this actually becoming a thing. And in the show as well, he was talking about how it changed their philosophies, how they gave it to Americans and then they became communists. So they went from capitalist to communist, and that's something maybe the elite are working on, because they want total control. They have a God complex, and so they want to be able to be in control of people. So who's to say that if you take this, that your philosophies, your morals, your whole way of looking at yourself isn't just changed into what the elite want? You'll just be a bunch of drones. Who's to say that they can't give you this and then they just shut you down for a second, shut your brain down, have their way with you, and then shut you back up or turn you back on with no memory of it? Or they give you that and it turns you into a complete atheist or a Satanist or a communist or whatever they decide to make you into. They're showing it in that show. And as I was saying, this goes into revelation of the method, but it also, in which this show does a lot of that. They showed last season, they were showing the nukes, and they showed nuclear fallout, which the show is Fallout, and it's following people after the nukes drop. And so it's in a American wasteland post-nuclear war, in which nuclear war is prophetic. This is how Babylon the Great, aka America, goes out. And the MOTB is prophetic, in which the devil wants to put it into either your brain or into your hand for you to buy or sell. But it could also have other characteristics with it, like being able to change your complete personality, be able to give you thoughts and ideas that you didn't originally have, and to just change you as a person. This is something that you cannot take. A lot of people are going to take it, but it's something, if you want to survive and get out of the nuclear destruction that is coming, you can't take that. You can't have it at all. It's a death sentence to take it, and it's going to seem like it's a miracle. You're going to see all the celebrities and your friends taking it, your family taking it, but you can't take this by any means. They want total control over you, just like Alex Jones always says. Total control. They want total control. Just like our apostles and elders have told us, they want total control. They have a God complex. This is Ezekiel 28 and verse 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus. Originally, this was speaking to the prince of Tyrus, but now it's speaking to the Edomites. The scriptures are manifold. It says, Thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. You could already see Esau does this. It sounds just like 2 Thessalonians and that man of sin. Esau changed the images of the Father, of the Son, of the angels, of the Israelites to all resemble him, to those pale images. And they placed themselves up. They went and conquered the world with those images and then placed those images into the churches. They're sitting in the seat of God, showing themselves that they are God in the midst of the people, in the midst of the seas. And a picture says 1,000 words. It says that's exactly what they've been saying this whole time. They have a God complex. In the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not the Most High. And they are not just men, they are the basest of men, the lowest form of humanity. It says, Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. And in Daniel, it says the children of this world are wiser than the children of light. So these Edomites, so-called white people, including those tiny tops, that's Edom. That's who this is speaking of with the God complex, especially their elite. They're wiser than the children of light, the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as are scattered. They're in the power position. They're in the blessed position currently, but it's all just temporary. They're about to be removed. It says, With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. They are in a favored position. The Lord gave them the fatness of the earth and the power of the sword. And they have ruled by that sword. They use their blessing of the sword, which modern day has been the gun, and they colonized and stole the majority of the earth and the resources of this earth. And their elite are completely loaded. It says, By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Show favor unto the wicked, yet in the land of uprightness will they do unjustly. They're in a favorite position, but all it's done is made them more and more proud. It's giving them a God complex because the Lord hasn't judged them in a really long time, so, or really ever. And so, no, because they went down, but He hasn't really truly judged them. And so they have gotten a big head. They've gotten really proud. And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee. It says they have set their heart as the heart of God. And you can see that in that show that those men are trying to play. They're trying to play God. They're trying to create a utopian world in which people basically don't have any personalities and they just do the work that the elite give them, the men that have power over that controller. And that's the same thing that the elite here in real life, not in Fallout, in real life are trying to do. They want control over every individual on this planet and to just do and think, do what they tell you to do and think what they tell you to think, and you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. They got a God complex. Verse 7, it says, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. World War III is about to start. Against these Edomites. The Lord's bringing this onto you. And it says, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Babylon the Great, America goes out via nuclear destruction in this coming war. And Yahushua is going to come with his chariots and bring more fire to them. And that's going to be the end of this age. It says, they shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Esau's about to go down, though you exalt yourself as the eagle. Ooh, forgot that one too. Man, I'm not having a good day with these scripts. Obadiah 1:4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Doesn't matter how high you are now, you're coming down, Esau. Ezekiel 28:8, they shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man, and no God, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. You're about to be slain, Esau. You're not gods, you're just weak old men. And you're the lowest form of men. There's no reason for you to be proud. You're about to be brought down forever. It says, thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised. So like just heathen, the heathen that you are, by the hand of strangers. For I have spoken it, saith the Lord power. And the Lord is about to bring you down. It's going to be a quick, shameful, terrible experience. Or not quick. I shouldn't say quick. It says, saw Satan fall as lightning. So yeah, you're going to be brought down quick. But you got 1,000 years of slavery to serve out. And then your whole lineage gets taken off this earth. You have a painful downfall that is on its way. And it's coming. Y'all are about to fall. And so, yeah, you see that thing, that the MOTB in the show Fallout. Check it out if you can. Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, all praise, all honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.